The state is not party to it, nor is the federal government party to the trust. It's not a statutory trust, it's a common law trust.
Common law trust, is that what you said?
Yes, pure common law trust. It's got many names. Massachusetts Trust, Pure Trust, Common Law Trust. But they've been held up as recently as last year in the Supreme Court. So.
Oh, okay. The address on there is, I see it's out of Las Vegas.
There is no addresses. That's where this was filed.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get.
There's no residence. I'm not a resident of anywhere in this country.
Okay. Stand by for 1 second. I'm going to talk to my partner back here, okay?
As long as you guys, I mean, are we free to go? I mean...
not at this time, no.
So I'm under arrest?
No, you are not.
Well, this is an arrest. Now that you've been notified, sir.
Hold on, give him a second, then. I hope he understands that.
More and more.
Your phone died.
Yeah, all right.
Sucks that we didn't have the whole entire experience because it was dying. Bits and pieces.
Am I free to go?
Right now he's impeding our free right to travel.
Right now you're impeding my right to go, my right to travel, and there was a fee schedule on here.
I think it was $1,000 or $100 a minute after being notified.
$200 per hour, or a portion thereof, if being questioned, interrogated, or in any way detained, harassed, or otherwise regulated. Maybe this is Mr. Deaver. Is that the guy that arrested you?
Nope. But these are the same guys that,
Sir, do you need to read this as well? Well, right now I'm being detained. I get $200 an hour to be detained. I just want to be on my way. Well, that means I'm under arrest, and this means that well,
that means they accept
charges.
charges.
You can accept my fees, though.
That means he accepted your charges.
I want to call.
You should call out the sheriff right now.
Yep.
Federal marshal? Huh?
Yep.
Shoot, they're acting under color of law. 2 or more coming to us undisguised on a highway. You might want to just take this off. It's not really charging a bad ring.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yes, I'm being unlawfully detained / arrested. I am on Broadway at the, what is the name of this place?
This is a storage unit.
It's a storage yard. I've already notified these officers of what they're doing is unlawful. They are restricting my right to travel, and they're here acting under color of law.
So go ahead and get off the
I would
phone,
like
Tony.
to. I'm on the phone with the U.S. Marshal's office, please.
Okay, go ahead and hang up the phone.
I can't. I'm on the phone. I've
Hang up
already
the phone.
reported a crime, sir.
Okay.
And
Well, I'm
I am
telling
not
you
under
right
your
now,
authority,
it's a lawful
sir.
order.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm feeling very threatened right now, ma'am. Excuse me. You do not have any right to touch my private
Hang up the
property.
phone.
I'm on the phone with the U.S. Marshal. You're out
You're
jurisdiction.
with a trooper right now.
I am
Hang
on
up the
private
phone.
property and in private property, and I am
Hang
private.
up the phone.
Sir, ma'am, I need help out here immediately. I feel as if I'm in fear for my life right now.
How would you be in fear for your life?
Because you're
sir?
carrying guns, sir. That's why.
Okay. Do you have any weapons in the vehicle?
No, I don't have any weapons in the vehicle, and I'm not answering any more of your
Okay.
questions until I have counsel here.
What's your
and
name?
I want to.
You don't have the
Sir,
right to counsel,
I
right?
have the right to
What is
whatever I want. You don't
what's
tell
your
me who
name?
my rights are.
What's your name?
None of your business.
Okay.
He knows what I am. Here, you've been served. You've been served
No, I
notice.
haven't.
Yes, you've been served.
Piece of paper.
I can serve anybody I want. You have no more right than I do. I want TJ McDermott out here immediately. Yes, I'm in fear for my life. I'm in fear for my life. I have got 4 police officers now surrounding my vehicle for an unlawful arrest. I committed no crimes. I committed no breach of the peace. And I've got 4 guys here ready to drag me and my son out of my private vehicle. I told him that he has no right to turn a right into a crime. I've already notified him. I am not I do not have a legal name.
We're trying to file
and
charges.
I am trying to file charges against these exact same people in a temporary restraining order in federal court, but they are not allowing me to even go there. This is I need somebody here from the federal marshal's office immediately. I'm very much in fear for my life. I'm in fear for my life. Then who do I call? The FBI? I need somebody with federal jurisdiction. That is them. They already are breaking the law, and they have no intention of not breaking the law. I need somebody with federal jurisdiction here now. You have federal jurisdiction, correct? Okay. Well, there is a federal crime being committed right now, and that's what I am reporting. It was the same charges that I planned on bringing to the federal district court, but right now I am being harassed and threatened by these people, and I feel that I am afraid for my life. My name is Dave. I do not have a legal name. No, sir, I do not have a legal name. I have. Excuse me. My parents gave me a first name. Okay. The government. I denounce my legal name. I do not have a social. I do not have a license because the Constitution states that I have the right to travel. There's over 100 Supreme Court cases that say that I have the right to travel.
That's the
and
very
that
thing
they
that
cannot
made
make
these people.
a false arrest is trying to be committed here. They cannot arrest me unless they saw me commit a felony or saw me breach the peace, and I've done neither. I have explained this to them, and now they're trying to force their way on me.
Highway patrol and
now
sheriff.
there's a highway patrol
deputies.
here and 2 sheriff's
deputies.
deputies.
Now there's a 3rd sheriff deputy.
And now there's a 3rd sheriff's deputy. And I mean, they don't need 5 guys here with guns pointed at me for any reason whatsoever. I've committed no crime. I'm a peaceful man. But this is criminal what's going on here. I feel like I'm being gang raped. I am on Broadway at the storage yard, in Broadway. I'm on private property, and I'm in my own private property. They're trying to say that they tried to put their hand in my vehicle, which is private property. It's not even a vehicle, it's a truck, and it's a private conveyance. It is not marked with anything that has state or federal license or registration. I was trying to go and file federal charges against these same people that are here harassing us. And now, and this is not only a conflict of interest, but it's criminal. It's criminal. This should not be happening. Nobody in this country should be afraid of the police, especially when no crime has been committed. I want somebody here to help me. I don't even want to hang up because I'm afraid for my life. The only thing that's keeping them at bay right now is that I'm on the phone.
With you.
Who handles federal crimes? Well, which ones do you handle? Because I can't. I am sitting here being stared at by 5 guys that are standing back here, trying to, force me into commerce when I'm in the private. Can you possibly, because I don't want to hang up the phone and break this communication with you, can you pass me through to the FBI and I can get somebody out here? Okay. Thank you. Yep. Bye. Look at those guys. Guy's sitting there holding his gun, looking like he wants to fire on me.
Of course.
Yes, I need help immediately. I have people, I am surrounded by officers who are trying to, I'm afraid for my life. I'm surrounded by officers. They're committing a crime right now. They've been notified that I am exercising my right to travel, and they are here in force, all holding their guns and threatening me. Right now I'm on Broadway at the storage yard at, I can't see, it's 4050 Broadway. It's called the storage yard. I'm on private property and I'm sitting in my private conveyance. I've already given them notice. What's that, sir? Sir, this is a crime. They're acting under color of law. I've committed no crime. I've committed no crime. Well, I'm telling you, this is federal law. They are acting under color of federal law. Title 18, 241, 242. There is a absolute conspiracy. I've got guys in costumes trying to assault me and kidnap me. Well, I would be happy for you to come out here and explain the federal law to them, because this right now is criminal, sir. Sir, I am not under anybody's statutes. I am not a statute. The officers are doing absolutely nothing legal here, sir. I am not under their jurisdiction. No, I am not under their jurisdiction. I am not a public slave, sir. I am not a slave. Well, I'll tell you what I am. I'm a private man in a private conveyance that's clearly marked private property, no trespassing. And that is, do you understand what the law? No, sir. I'm not carrying a gun. I have no weapons, and these guys are perfectly safe. I am a peaceful man. I just don't want to be harassed, and right now I am being...
No, you can't, because once
Yeah,
you're in
I
there...
can't, because now this
once
is
you're in
ridiculous.
jail,
They do not, in this town, I've already got a lawsuit. I was on my way to try and file that lawsuit at the federal district court. It's now the sheriff is here, but the original officer was highway patrol. I will deal with TJ McDermott personally only. Well, I know that, but these guys don't know the law. I've gone through this before here. My son was just kidnapped. I'm already processing federal claim against these officers, these same officers. So there's a major conflict of interest. I would rather have somebody here with a higher jurisdiction that can come and make a decision here. Now, if somebody wants to write me some sort of an appearance ticket instead of all staring at me like I'm some kind of criminal, I feel like I'm going to be, I really feel like my life is in danger right now. These guys are standing around. My life is in danger, sir. Why not? They just shot 2 people in this town for nothing, unarmed. I didn't do a thing. My name is Dave. Sir, I don't have a last name. Okay, there is the only last name I have is a family name, and it's Horowitz. Horowitz, Horowitz. There's 20 of them.
No, it's not. It's
5 of them, 6 of them. If that's all they want to do, then why are they acting as if they have
all of them on
all
their
kinds
guns.
of authority?
All of
over
them
me?
have their hands on their guns.
And they all. Well, I've already identified myself. I've already told them. I'm not a danger, sir. I've already informed them that I'm not a danger. Well, I understand that, but I'm an innocent man. I haven't done anything. Did somebody come here? Right? I understand that. How you doing? Well, I'd like you to stay on the line with me until TJ McDermott gets here. Hold on one second. They're standing here. I want to speak to them. Please stay on the line. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I've been better, obviously. I mean, I'm going along my way. I'm traveling in my private conveyance. There is 100+ federal laws that say I have the right to travel from point A to point B in my private conveyance when I'm not in commerce. I do not ever go into commerce. The only time I do is to benefit somebody here who owns a business. Okay? I am nobody's danger. If you feel that, either of you feel that you want to write a ticket and have me appear somewhere, I'd be happy to take that. But I am not even close to being willing to consent to going anywhere with any of you guys. I should not be under arrest.
I'm not aware that you're being asked to go anywhere with any
Well,
of your
just this, I mean, come on, guys. I got 20 freaking, this is like a gang rape, I feel like.
Well, no, we're just here, just like you are.
Okay.
Obviously.
But I
We're
didn't
gonna
come
try
to your job and say, hey, guys,
we're gonna try to
you got to
resolve
do what I
this
say.
absolutely peacefully.
That's what I want.
And then hopefully we can be on our way today.
Well, how do we do that, and how do we do it fast? Because my time is money, just like your guys' is money.
We definitely
I'd like you to go
respect
solve
you
some
and
real
understand
crime,
that.
because you got the entire force here.
Listen to what he's saying.
So,
Let's talk to him.
the trooper here has some traffic issues that he needs to handle with.
Hold on. Yes, sir, I hear you talking. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I have a sheriff deputy here. He can give me his number, and I have it programmed into my phone. I've called him 100 times this week. All right, thank you for doing that. Thank you. All right, guys. What can we do to get this done?
So, like I originally stated, as far as the traffic part of it goes, you are driving a vehicle.
I'm afraid of that man, sir. I don't want him anywhere near me.
You're afraid of me?
I am. Thank you.
He's here to just.
That's fine, and that's why he's here, and everybody else. Everybody's safe. Everybody's happy. Let's do the business and see what happens here.
Okay. Like you said, I do have a couple of citations that I'm going to issue you. Okay.
That's fine.
The one I'm going to be for operating without registration on the vehicle.
That's fine.
The other one's going to be for driving with a suspended license.
I don't have a suspended license. I have no valid license at all.
Okay. The issue that I have is I still can't
Where does a suspended license thing come in?
out of New York.
Out of New York.
Yeah.
And they say that I have a license with them?
Well, at this point, I'm trying to talk to you to see.
Well, that's why I'm
who you are,
asking you.
okay?
That's why I'm
You keep
asking
cutting
you.
me off, and I'm trying to ask you some questions here. I'm getting there. I might be a
Okay.
long roundabout way, but what I'm trying to get at is I don't know who you are.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Can you please ask him to go over there? I'd rather have to talk to you guys.
Just talk to us. Okay?
I am, but he's making me very nervous.
Let's not worry
So as
about
far as the
that over there.
citations go, I need your name. You've already given me your name,
Thank
David.
you. Yep.
Your family name is Horowitz, correct?
Yes, but that's not a legal name. Go ahead.
Okay. You told me that was your family name. That's
It is my family name. It was my father's last name.
perfect.
It's the name of the trust.
And as far as the date of birth, do you have any idea what that would be?
Somewhere in 1969, 69, 68, 67, somewhere in that range, I was told.
Okay. They didn't get me any closer. Normally there's a month and a day.
Sure, but I'm not even required to answer this. I mean,
Okay. I need that information
to
be able
do. I know you need it
put
to
it on
do
citation.
something because otherwise, I'm
If you
not
want
in
me to
your.
give you a
I'm not
proper
even in your
citation
system.
So that we can resolve this, then that's the information that I need. Does that make sense to you?
It does, and
Okay.
this does,
So, David, you're obligated to identify yourself to us.
and I did,
Okay.
and through notice I did.
And listen to me for just a second. You and I may not agree on what you feel like you're legally obligated and how you're legally obligated to identify yourself.
Right.
But what you have to understand is that I also have a feeling on the way that I interpret the law and what
Sure.
and the way that you're obligated.
That's what men do. We always interpret the law our own way.
And the way that you're obligated to identify yourself to us. And so we may not agree on those things, but we do need to identify you, and the way that we identify you is obviously through some sort of identification
This is the only legal paper document that I have.
that you work with.
It's
or
even
that-
have
This is a legal documentation. Anything you need to know about the legal man and the separation between the legal man and myself is in that document.
And it's been notarized.
And it's a pretty interesting document. It sure is, because it explains how I feel about the law.
And it's notarized.
When I deal with commerce, when I deal in commerce, in this country, we all have the right to contract with whoever we want. We also have the right not to contract. Would make sense, right? Well, when I got 30 years in between law enforcement and the law
And business.
as far as study goes. I chose, when I got done being an investigator, to live privately, outside of statute and under common law.
Okay.
And in Montana, the number one in Bill of Rights is the right to popular sovereignty, and the second one is the right to govern yourself. When I decided to go this route, I decided as a man to govern myself appropriately.
Okay.
If I run over your mailbox, I am responsible. I stop. I knock on your door. I say, here's my phone number. I'm on my way to Home Depot to replace it. That's what a man does. I don't tread on anybody, and I don't like being tread on, and that's the point.
We appreciate that.
I know, and you guys should, because your job is to protect us all.
Do we have, based on all of our information, we have enough to believe that we know who this man is?
Can you write me the tickets so I can go? I
So
only have until
here's
5
the
o'clock to
funny thing,
file
though.
my
This is-
federal
this is
lawsuit.
This is the interesting thing that we have to deal with from here. I
Okay.
think that the trooper would be in agreement with us that if he's able to complete his job and issue his tickets appropriately,
Mm-hmm.
that you would be free to walk away from the scene. But the vehicle obviously can't travel on.
This vehicle
on the
is
road.
private
Okay, well,
property.
it's not going to travel on the road.
Okay, well,
So-
I mean, I'll sit here for a while, sure.
Okay, and we'll devote
Protect
some
my
resources
property.
to make sure that
That's
that
fine
it
if you
doesn't go
guys
back
want to
out
waste.
onto the road.
You want to waste those
And,
resources, you can.
But I think that if this trooper's good with that, that we will conduct that sort of business.
Oh, I'm
and
not
then,
good. I'm not good with anybody putting a lien against my property.
Well, I have no intention of putting a lien against your property at all, as long as the property doesn't end up on the way of the state open to the public.
Who
And
owns
then-
the road?
Well,
Who
we all
owns
own the road, don't we?
Thank you. So if I'm an owner, why can't I use my property in my private conveyance? See,
Because there's some laws that govern
The laws
on what you
that-
have to put on your vehicle and
Yes.
how you have to register it and
I would have to be a party to
how you
that.
have
There's
to
just
display
4
the
pages, and this is what you're
registration
going
and how you
to
have
be in
to
your ear.
Do all of the other
This is
stuff.
the right to travel based on federal law.
Okay.
Okay? There are literally over 100 cases that over and over and over again for the last 100 years, this country has decided, and the Supreme Court has decided, which you guys are all under the same jurisdiction, I'm pretty sure you know. Under federal law, you have the right to travel. Okay? Who are the people? And who is the public servant? Okay? There's a big
Trustees.
difference here. You
Public
guys are
trustee.
trustees. You are in charge of the public trust.
You
I'm gonna
are
do my
able
job,
to do
okay?
your job.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. You guys are public trustees. And you know what? I talked to TJ.
And the badge is not a badge of authority; it's a badge of
badge of
trust.
trust.
We trust you guys
You
to
guys
do the
don't
right
have
thing.
any
You know
more
what?
rights than
take
I
a
have.
lot of a lot of pride in my ability to wear this and the authority that it gives me. Obviously.
What authority does it give you, though?
So,
What does it give you any more authority than I have as a man?
Well, I obviously have taken an oath to defend the Constitution,
And
right?
and that oath
Yeah,
puts you
and
in a
enforce the
common
laws
law
of the state.
jurisdiction.
Right?
yes.
And there are some
Which is
state
out of
laws that
commerce.
We may and may not agree whether they're legal in your mind or mine, but I'm
They are legal. They're just not lawful necessarily. Legal is what somebody says. Lawful is what is.
Okay.
Okay?
Picture Hitler.
I mean, how could
It was
how could the laws
lawful.
be changed arbitrarily
It was
to
actually
suit somebody's pocket? This is what it's all about. You guys are, not you personally. I understand you got the badge because you want to do a good job.
Hold on.
You want to help people.
Hold on.
Every cop I talk to My whole life says the exact same thing.
Okay,
and I believe a lot of
listen to
them.
me
I
for just a
believe
second.
a
I'm
lot
going
of
to get
them.
a little closer to you only because I have a hard
That's
time
fine.
hearing
That's
you,
fine.
not that I have
That's
any
fine.
intent to
Believe me,
approach you.
I am not intimidated by you. You're acting like a human being.
Yeah.
So,
But imagine this. I mean, in Germany.
Talk just a little louder.
In Germany, it was legal because Hitler made it legal and for Jews to be killed. It was actually a sport to them. It was legal because one man said it was legal. Now, it wasn't lawful because it was morally wrong. I mean,
We're not going to argue that point.
No, I'm not. But I'm saying that's
That's the same
basically the same
I agree with
thing.
you at all. I understand I understand that that's definitely.
Well, I'm just
the way
showing
that you view
the
that.
clear definition between legal and lawful. They're not always the same. You know.
Okay, well, I understand that, but
can I ask you one question?
whether you guys recognize whether or not you have to register your vehicle properly or not. I mean, you and I probably at the end of this conversation aren't going to agree to that.
And we don't have to.
But yeah,
We don't
there you
have
go.
to. But
We
that's the
don't have to.
That's
beauty
the nice
about
thing.
this country.
That's a
The
beauty about
deal
free
is
society.
that at the end of this is the most peaceful resolution to our encounters with you guys are what we want, right? I mean, you want a peaceful encounter. We want a
I
peaceful
do.
encounter.
But it's not very peaceful if I feel very intimidated.
When you're scared to death, I mean you know it. There's been 2 guys killed in this town by the police. Okay, I am a civil rights investigator, and I am also a private attorney general. Okay, both very legitimate, very lawful and legal positions, with standing and authority.
Good.
Okay, when I notified this officer that I have as much authority and less restriction and responsibility to, enact an arrest, okay? But the only way that I can do it, okay, even though I have less restriction than you, is if I witness somebody committing a felony in my presence, or if I witness somebody disturbing the peace. And that's the same exact arrest authority that you guys have, the exact same. Because what counts as a lawful arrest, unless there's a warrant, if there's a warrant, then, and you've got it on you and it's in your hand and there's under oath or attestation, then you got a legal arrest. But without it, it becomes an illegal arrest, an unlawful arrest.
Well, you and I interpret the law differently.
Oh, that doesn't matter because the
But
jury
you're not
is going to
supposed to
interpret this
interpret the
one because
law.
that's exactly why I don't want to deal with these guys, because they kidnapped him for 2 days without ever saying one word. I just
Did you go to jail, sir?
He
Is
sure
that what
did.
You're talking about
He
by
sure
kidnapping?
did.
Okay.
he sure did.
Because I was held as a political prisoner. Because they held me at gunpoint, forcing their political ideologies at me, which is terrorism. That constitutes terrorism under federal definition. That's the same reason why the guy who shot 2 cops and expected it to start a revolution went to jail for terrorism, because he was pushing his political
own
ideologies
political ideologies.
by gun force at these cops, expecting the rest of
Never
the
right,
country
no
to
matter whose
just
side.
start going to war, which is ridiculous. But I mean, I'm a peaceful guy. I didn't do anything wrong. There was no victim. Actually,
Even when they attacked him, he didn't even resist.
The
He just went
arresting-
because he was afraid.
the arresting officer actually said that he was my accuser, saying that he was the victim. So he the whole thing was, to me, it was a giant crime. They committed crimes. To me, I think it's wrong because, not that you think of it as a band of brothers, but there's more times than not that, a group of friends are going to protect their own. That's just how it is.
Hello?
That's a moral thing in humans to
Hey,
protect
babe, I
their own,
can't
correct?
talk right now.
It's kind of like
Surrounded
family.
by police officers.
If your
I'll
family
talk
was in
to you
need,
later.
you'd help your family, correct?
Love you.
What's that, sir?
Sorry, But I'm
Sorry.
saying it's like family. If your family was in need, you would protect your own, correct? I mean,
These are not my family.
They
they're-
are
Of
every
course.
one of them.
Of course.
I
There's
could not
huge
even
difference.
report a vehicle theft, even though this is owned by a third-party private trust that has full constitutional rights. Are you familiar with trust law?
Well, you couldn't report the theft of a vehicle because
I can if
of
it's private property.
Of the recognition of whether it was seized as a result of it being driven on a road, but
It was actually all part of an unlawful arrest without a warrant. So from the beginning, it's all wrong. So whether or not it got to that point, it's
we'll
wrong.
never agree
Of
with
course,
that.
and we don't have to. But
There
you
you
know
go.
what's funny? And it's cool that you even say that, because
You don't have to
I've
agree.
had officers that make judicial rulings being that you're an executive officer and not a judicial officer, you're not allowed to do those things. You can't choose what is a crime and what is not a crime unless it's, obvious. I mean, if you walked up and saw somebody shoot somebody, it's an obvious crime. You don't know what the details are or whether it was self-defense or what, but something happened. It's not that obvious when you're dealing with statutes that require people to pay. Okay? What if I said that I don't even have a job in commerce, okay, and the financial fines, okay, and this is how I do look at it. A financial fine is basically indenturing me as a slave. Because now I've got to go work, like what they did with him.
The very definition of impose
even the
is to enslave.
fines that were to get out of bail,
His
being that he's
imposition.
out on bond, $1,425. Okay, he makes $125 a week.
That's definitely
That's 6
indentured
months worth
slave.
of slavery, and that's without eating. Because some guy thought that he had authority to do whatever he felt like doing,
And they all
to
make
whoever
money
they
off
feel
of a
like doing,
guilty
and
plea.
everybody makes money.
Off of
You
a
guys wouldn't have a
guilty plea.
job if you weren't writing these tickets.
And it's also a private
And it
corporation that
stinks.
you work for.
It stinks. I mean, your job, you know what? When I grew up, and I'm older than you, I'm sure, all right? When I grew up, I wanted to be a cop. I went to criminology. I got a bachelor's in criminology. I wanted to be in law enforcement, all right? I wanted to be in the FBI. And when I was a kid, I had no problem telling even my kids that, hey, you're lost, you're this, you're that. Find a cop. They're good guys. They want to help. That's no longer the case. And I'm not making a judgment call on...
That's kind of offensive
No,
to me,
and that's
right?
why I'm saying I'm not making a judgment call on any one particular individual. But when I'm activist with this, okay? I post over 11 different homicides by officer every day. And that's why I'm not judging you personally. You seem like a real nice guy. And, from the few minutes that we've spent together talking, you seem like, the kind of guy I'd go have a cup of coffee with and discuss something,
I would hope so.
Yeah, I mean, which is cool. I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad somebody out of all these guys has got
A clear head to speak.
yeah, you're not emotionally involved in this, and that's what I felt. This was getting very emotionally involved.
Because it's a job.
Is that,
it's not a,
does that
it's
happen
not
to be
a,
T.J. McDermott right there? Who is that guy? Is he an officer as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I know him.
There's all officers here.
I know him.
So anyways,
But yeah, it's a job. They shouldn't
a
be
job.
taking it personally, especially because my life is a personal thing that you guys are very much threatening.
I understand.
It makes me,
It's
on
a big
edge.
deal to take somebody's freedom away from them.
Absolutely.
Sure is. They say it's
Absolutely.
better that 10 guilty men get let go
The one
than
innocent
one
go to
innocent
jail.
man sit in a cell without deprived of liberty.
I guess that's an interesting way to look at things.
That's not me. That was a Supreme Court, one of the Supreme Court justices said it. I didn't say that. Sir,
I don't have your citations 100% done yet, okay? I'm still working on my full deal, and I'll get them printed out here for you, okay?
sure.
I'm still working on getting all my information that I need to have on there.
Okay. My plate is private property.
Yep, that's what I was going to write down exactly.
Cool.
what I
You
said.
should take a picture. I think it's a pretty good idea. No offense, brother. You seem extremely stressed. Yeah. I just don't, I felt intimidated how stressed you came up looking.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're a great guy.
I am a great guy. at
Oh,
least in my
wonderful.
mind.
Here, I'm Dave. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
It's nice that we can relieve it
what's
on
going on?
stressless
I mean,
terms.
Nothing, dude. I was a PI for 8 years. I was an investigator. I got a bachelor's in criminology, and I got 30 years in law school.
And I just
okay,
went to
and
jail.
law
30
study.
years in what?
30 years of studying the law. Okay. I decided to be done with
The public.
and live my life privately. And
You can do that on your own property, and
well, this is the
You can
point.
be
This
private,
is
not
my
talk
own
to anybody.
property, and even though that this is a public roadway, I'm still one of the public owners of that roadway. It's just as you are, guys. When you're out of those uniforms,
Then you elect
you're in the
officials to
private.
create laws.
I don't elect anybody because you know what? I would not have
Nobody has
anybody
the right to
represent me to
govern
tie
you.
my shoelaces. That's how over I am with the ignorance and
Which is
the
your prerogative.
But nobody
it
has
is,
the right.
but nobody allows me to do that, and that's
Nobody
what
has
it
the-
really is about.
And nobody has the right to deprive me of my
I mean, we
freedom.
understand.
You
And
know,
then-
who do
but
you
they're-
want to roll?
but
Would you
they're
really?
all
I mean, what I
laws,
said. Yeah, but you know what? The common law. I am 100% in agreement with common law. 100%. Man, if you see me freaking hurting somebody right now, I would expect my son and you to beat my ass to get
So
to
can
get
I,
it over.
Can I ask a couple questions?
I'd
Because
love to answer some.
I'm very interested in how
Sure.
you guys co-mixing with us in the end is going to work out.
What do you mean, commingling with who?
What I'm
People
asking,
in general,
no,
or
what I'm asking is like, so obviously you have every intention to continue to operate not in.
Well, we're not
compliance with my
operating.
friends in your own private
In my own
property on
private-
the road, and then you come in contact with law enforcement because we have every intention of enforcing some laws that you may not agree with, right?
yes.
So then you're stopped, and we have these conversations, and then a ticket is issued, or it's not, just based on.
Yeah, well, the
officer
tickets I have no
or
problem
not.
dealing with
And then you
because I can go to
and then
court
you
and
go to
handle
court
all
and
of
you handle
that. Absolutely.
And then you continue to
As long
come
as I'm
back
not-
out and drive, and then we.
But we're
have
not driving.
contact,
Unfortunately, it's really
and
coming down
how
to
do we
that.
end up resolving?
Well, I talked to
I mean,
TJ
how about
I
a
talked to
year from
TJ
now,
a few
2
weeks
years?
ago, and I thought we had an understanding.
See, the main thing is,
So that's where I
hold on,
recognize
stop
the other
talking for a
guy
second.
back there.
Let me make a comment.
Go ahead.
For the main thing is, I'm not subject to no man because I'm free. This is supposed to be a free country,
I
correct?
completely respect your opinion in that.
Well, it's not an opinion because this is a free country. So, as a free man in this country, I have the right to be subject to no man because nobody's over me. Nobody's my king. We're all equal in this country. And if that's true, then I have the right to make any decision I want without hurting anybody, without breaking their property, or without breaching a contract. All three of those, there would be a victim. That's the only way that, really, that I could be brought into commerce, into your guys' statutes and limitations.
I hear what you're saying.
And we're not going to discuss law here.
No,
We're
of
not- we're not
course,
gonna
yeah.
discuss law.
They're-
To answer your
Yeah.
question, how are we dealing with it? I'm the one that's got to deal with it on the regular. I am in the process, like I was in the process today, of filing federal charges on his behalf. I plan on filing a restraining order and an injunction because this can't continue to go on. You know, I've notified the governor. I've notified the attorney general's office. I got 200 phone calls into state officials this week alone.
So what? So
What I'm
we're
trying to-
intending
we're
on
at-
waiting until we get some sort of federal ruling.
Well, a federal ruling, well, the temporary restraining order and the injunction is going to allow us to live our lives in freedom until that case is decided by a jury in a federal court. So, you know, in the meantime, I would like to feel as if I'm protected from being
Harassed every day.
It is. It's harassment, and in his case, it was an assault and battery, an unlawful arrest, and an unlawful malicious prosecution. That's going to
Felony
happen
assault
if
in the
the
jail.
prosecutor actually decides to move the case forward.
Felony assault
So,
in jail.
You know,
I mean,
he got assaulted in jail. I mean, for a guy who's never hurt anybody in his life, that's just absurd. You know, all because the court wants $900 to keep you guys in shiny, you know, tin
What's
bags.
malicious?
Huh?
What was malicious?
The
It's malicious
prosecution.
because it was an unlawful arrest, and it was
What's malicious?
the prosecution will be a malicious prosecution
How was it malicious? As opposed
because
to
they know
just prosecution.
because
I was
they
in jail
know
without
for
being,
sure, and they've been notified of the unlawful arrest and the unlawful imprisonment. There was no warrant.
They know for sure. What does that mean?
Well, because the DA agreed with me. No, the DA that had nothing to do with who he is. It was the district attorney was notified, okay, that there was no warrant at the time of the arrest, okay, that no officer at the time prior to being illegally searched and seized his person and the property.
What was illegally searched?
Anything that was on me at the
and then
time.
anything that was in
And
his
me.
pockets at the time
And me.
when they pulled him out of the vehicle without an arrest warrant on their persons, saying this is the guy.
But have you seen the law that says that we can arrest
Can arrest for what?
without a warrant?
For what? Probable cause that a crime has been committed, a felony or a breach of the peace. Is
Relax.
a traffic violation.
Relax.
I'm relaxed, I'm fine. Is a traffic violation a felony?
It doesn't have to be.
It has to be a felony in order for it
Otherwise,
to be a lawful
you guys
arrest.
are committing a crime
Back to the
yourselves.
MCA code and look.
Sir,
It
it's
doesn't have to be.
That's a code and
it
statute.
is a
not law.
federal.
Just arrested somebody today.
I'm sure you did, and most
And they
people.
didn't have-
I got to ask you, how many people like me do you come across in a month? How about in a year? People who actually read a contract, people who actually understand and know the law.
You have to read every law.
Of
not just the
course.
one
But do you
you
read
Of
every
course
law?
I do. I do.
Then
How about this Constitution that both of you guys took an oath to protect?
You
What about
violated
that? The Constitution, you guys both took an oath to protect, okay? That means that you guys, and I called the DOJ, they told me the same thing. I said, is the Constitution still in force in this state? They said, absolutely it is. I said, well, then why is it being absolutely neglected by you guys?
Because inalienable right
I mean,
to
if I have an
travel.
inalienable right to travel, I've got an inalienable right to govern myself. I've got I've got a right to be sovereign.
Did you see the law that says you have to have registration?
Sir, that's a statute. Statutes are the rulings of men. The common law is the rulings of court over hundreds and hundreds of years. Okay? And that's why we have a constitution. That thing was created, which created
limit-
you guys.
to limit you
You
guys
guys
from-
are actually acting in fiction, and I'm sure you know that. Okay?
So, can we stop for just a second?
Sure, absolutely.
We're not gonna. We're never gonna.
I know. Well, he asked me a simple question, and I'm trying to provide him the answer.
And I appreciate.
Hey, we're
your
killing
point of
time
view,
till he writes the
absolutely.
tickets.
There you go. I understand. But we're
I
not
usually
gonna agree,
charge for this
obviously.
information.
You know?
You know?
There you go.
He was asking a question. I was giving him free advice, all free
We go back
information.
to the point. I mean, this is the kind of contact that we can expect in the future. I mean, civil and
Guys have nothing to
Absolutely.
worry about from us two.
I mean-
and if you guys were in trouble, we'd be the first to help you.
Of course.
I mean, that's how I am. I am a benefit to society, although I try to stay apart from them. Okay? Because society is uncontrollable. Okay? That's why your job is so hard. Because you can't control it, even though the effort is, good effort, but people don't want to be controlled.
And the system's
You know?
I
flawed.
understand that.
And it is a flawed system.
So, I mean, a flawed system.
I'm sorry.
It's a flawed
Yeah,
system, he said.
and it's not a perfect system. So, I mean, a perfect system, there's going to be problems like this because we believe we're not hurting anybody. There should be no crime committed because there's no victim. And
Just 'cause
in
somebody
that,
wants a couple bucks.
we should be able to just go about our business, because that's what it is to be free,
And it
I mean, if
also
we don't
be
hurt
kind.
nobody, then we're not taking somebody else's freedom away from them, Just like you're telling me we can't travel our own personal private conveyance that's owned by a trust to wherever we got to go from point A to point B. You're now trying to tell me that we don't have the right to do what we
See,
want.
nobody can give
But I'm not
license
saying
on
that you're
somebody's
really saying
private
that.
property. Like, I can't go into your driveway and lend your neighbor your car, right? Because I don't own it. Only you have the Only you have the
Right to license
right
people.
to license somebody to use your property, and that's exactly what a registration is. That's exactly what a driver's license is. When I was a commercial driver at one point, okay, in my many hats that I've worn over the years, absolutely needed a commercial license to drive commercially on the road because it's the public's road, not commerce's road.
Go private, then
And when I'm private, you do not need one. And it's already, I mean, I've got Miller versus State. There's tons of them, hundreds of them that the Supreme Court has ruled over and over and over again. Not just the Supreme Court, but many Supreme Courts throughout the states ruled over and over and over again. One of our basic absolute rights. I mean, it's no different than me walking down the road. I have the right to go that way. I have the right to mobility. And if I own something that makes that mobility easier, I have the right to use it however I want, as long as I don't hurt anybody
Or damage their
or
property.
damage their property. And I am more than willing, 100% responsible to compensate anybody that I harm. I'm not going out of my way to lose, so I'm not going out of my way to harm anybody. Matter of fact, I drive away from people. I keep my distance because I want to be private. And unfortunately, you're saying I don't have the right to be private, because really what it comes down to after all this stuff we've been talking about, you say, yeah, but this guy down the road here, the politicians in this town decided for me that I'm not allowed to be private and I have to follow
And I
their
never
rules.
consented to be a party to it.
Now, I can understand if I actually hurt somebody and there was a victim that was a direct responsibility of me. And I also have the right to, hey, I ran over your mailbox, to go and work things out like a man, like humans do. When you're wearing a badge, you're actually hiding behind a corporate fiction.
Or a corporate veil.
A corporate veil, okay? Which is what gives you guys your immunity. There's certain ways that the veil can be removed.
Fraud.
Fraud is being the main one. unlawful arrest, unlawful imprisonment. Those are considered trespass, assault, and battery. You know, depriving somebody of their life, because if you deprive somebody of their liberty, you are depriving them of their life. Now, putting somebody in a jail without having a judicial officer say, yes, this was a lawful arrest, there was a warrant, here's the crime, you deserve to be there. That's the way the system is designed to work, in your statutes and everything. If there's a warrant and it was a legal or a lawful arrest, by all means, that guy is in jail. But without that, there's certain requirements. Unless it's a felony or a breach of the peace in the officer's presence, then it becomes a lawful arrest. Without it, it becomes unlawful, which is a breach of the peace in itself, a trespass, an assault, and a battery. And, you know, that unfortunately is what we have to do. That's my defense. It's my only defense, is to go back after a redress of grievances. And it's unfortunate because, you know, guys like you that are you got a good mind and you seem like a
calm guy.
Yeah, you're calm and you're acting very professional, and I got to say I do appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate the way that you're acting. I've dealt with a lot of people that have different views, and I'm
not some loony. I've had people turn around and say, "Oh, you sound like one of these free men." Don't group me within anybody. I'm not a part of anybody's society. I'm not an island by any means.
I didn't group you with anybody, did I? Said you're
right. No, I didn't say you did. I didn't say you did.
Right? So,
but yeah, when he was arrested the other day, I was on the phone throughout the entire exchange, and I heard him say, "Oh, he's acting like one of them free men." Now he's talking to you the same. We're talking to you the same way he was talking to them, and then they dragged him out of the car, which is
sovereign citizen.
Yeah, that's what he said. Sovereign citizen.
But I can't be a sovereign and a citizen.
You can't be a sovereign
That's an oxymoron.
and a citizen. You can't be a subject and a king at the same time. It don't work. So whoever's in that group is a bunch of morons to begin with. So keep studying. They say.
You're the first person I've talked to that actually seems like they have some legitimacy behind some of their thought processes and stuff. And the good thing about us is that we are able to at least have a conversation with you.
That's the best way.
I wish every cop, every guy that was wearing a badge acted and thought that way. I really do. And you know what? It'd make your jobs a whole heck of a lot easier.
And obviously, at the end of this, we aren't going to agree on everything.
We don't have to. That's where we're men. We all have our own opinion.
Both uninjured and unharmed, and we can kind of have some sort of resolution in sight to try to work through our differences, then that's obviously where we're both coming from and what we want.
We've been living off the grid for 2.5 years, traveling around, looking for places, looking for property. I want to settle in this area. I am looking for property currently. I love Montana, but, you know, this does have to get settled. I mean, you know, I can't be going around being told what I can and can't do. I'm an adult. I'm an adult man.
Contact with law enforcement every day of the week.
Unless you need help. If you don't need help, I just don't want to be hassled. You know, I mean, I use my vehicle, private vehicle, to go down the road. The only reason why I got pulled over here is because I didn't pay Caesar's tax on the registration.
I didn't give
That's
over
really
my
why
ownership.
we're talking right now.
I didn't give over my ownership.
Yeah, I didn't give over ownership rights. When you register something, you give up ownership rights, which is the only way. Because only an owner can tell somebody how they can or can't use their own property. If it's my property, you can't tell me how to use my own property. If it's your property, you can tell me, I want it cleaned before it comes back, I want a full tank, you have the right to tell me that because you're the one allowing me to use it. But if you don't, then how can I possibly?
If I may.
Sure.
You had a conversation with the sheriff, obviously, T.J. McDermott.
A few weeks ago, yeah.
And
how'd
that conversation?
It actually went real well.
Good.
I had a lot of respect for him when we hung up the phone.
But we haven't been able to get a hold of him since my case.
It's funny, the guy there in the regular jacket's the guy that I actually spoke to.
He's the undersheriff.
He's the guy that came out to my RV and he was looking for a guy. Actually, the guy I bought the property from.
Oh, okay.
The guy's tag was still on the RV. It came with it. I never took it off. Nobody ever asked me for it. So I guess somebody drove by and read it, him, and they ran the tags, and they come and find out that it's registered. Those tags were registered to an offender. So he came up, and he was all excited and all, and I calmed him down and explained who I was, and then talked to him, and I spoke to TJ afterwards. And sorry, I take medicine for my stomach, makes me dry. This week's been a lot of agita.
What's that? I didn't hear it.
I said this week there's been a lot of agita, upset stomach.
Okay.
I've been taking these
I
things.
can see how that could occur.
Yeah, well, my son got arrested and
When did you get arrested, sir?
Monday.
Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
Just got him out on bail. I literally just got this property back. Literally just got it back and was heading back to where I stay.
Unfortunate circumstances.
That's not unfortunate. It's bound to happen regardless. I know it's going to happen.
We just need to
You
go
know?
get our paper. We just need to file our paperwork. Is all.
Yeah, absolutely. So you had called the FBI during the course of all this?
Yes, I called the FBI because I wanted to go up in jurisdiction because I am actually suing the state of Montana and every employee in the state of Montana. Well, you guys carry a lot of weight, right? When you come in with that badge and that uniform, you are representing every employee for the corporation is known as the state of Montana, because only a corporation is only as good as all the people that work for it. See, the state is a fiction. You're not the state. You know you're not the state. You don't walk around going, hi, I'm the state, right? That building isn't the state. No, that road isn't the state. The state is a corporation, which is a corporate fiction. I'm also a business consultant, and that's what I do for a living. So when I set up a new corporation, I am creating a fiction. It's an idea, okay? A fiction is just like anything else. Tinkerbell is a fiction, has no weight in the real world. Men communicate, and men are real. But when you're in a uniform and in a badge, you're actually representing the fiction. Okay? So in common law is where men and women can, discuss things and do things, and, we can agree to disagree, and, the world's great. Nobody's imposing their opinions on, nobody's imposing, anything on anybody else. What do we got there?
I talked to you about before. I'm just going to give you some citations here, okay?
Do I have to accept them?
I can explain them to you if you'd like.
Who are they for?
They're for David.
David who? Horowitz?
Horowitz?
David L. Horowitz. That's not even me. See, you got the wrong guy already. You got a legal person there. I am just messing with you. Go ahead. What would you like to explain? We've already wasted enough time, right? I'm trying to make you laugh at least.
Okay. I issued you citations for operating a motor vehicle that has not been properly registered. Driving a motor vehicle or privilege to do so is suspended or revoked.
I don't have one of those,
to provide proof of insurance or exhibit.
See, he just said privilege.
What is a privilege to drive? That's a license, right?
Yes.
Okay. And a license for something, in order to license somebody to do something, you have to have ownership of that thing, right? You can license me to borrow your car, correct?
Okay. I'll explain these for you.
Okay.
You need to either appear before the judge or...
I'm going to file. I'm going to file my own lawsuit, but
okay. These need to be taken care of on or before the 30th at 200 West Broadway. That's the Missoula County Justice Court here in Missoula.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'll be there tomorrow anyway because I'm filing charges anyway.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I
No,
shake, but I'll
hey,
give you one of these,
a
all right?
fist bump will work. That means that you're all right, guy.
Personable. You're personable.
All right. It's just one of my things. I don't shake hands while I'm on duty with people.
Hey, that's
okay?
fine. That's fine. I
All
know
right.
you can't act as a man. You got to act as the uniform.
So obviously,
Like we stated before.
you're free to go.
Cool.
Obviously, you can't operate the vehicle on the road.
Well, I've already gotten notified of that, so we've already got the charge. So I can't be charged with it twice.
Of course you can.
Well, we could have 20 counts, but yeah, we're gonna have to, Well,
I'm
you guys
basically
enjoy
signing
yourself.
the
I'm gonna have a smoke,
Okay.
and you guys,
Good day, sir.
yes, you guys too, and be safe. And hey,
Absolutely.
don't be a stranger. I mean,
Just don't be driving this out on the road.
I won't drive it. I travel, but you guys, hey, what was it, John?
My first name is Jared, sir.
Jared, will you shake my hand? Because you know what? You're probably one of the best cops I've talked to in this state since I've been here, and I'm not taking that lightly.
Thank you. From you, that's actually a compliment.
You know what? You should be teaching most of these guys how to handle things professionally.
Okay, well, in the future, I would love to have the
know what?
conversations with you.
Once I'm done with this, as long as your name's not on there, I'll send you a kudos letter for your boss.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
See, they impeded this guy's free right to come and do business with this place. They impeded another guy's right over there. This whole thing was criminal to begin with. He turned on his emergency lights and still has them on without any emergency.
6 cops.
There was already 2 others that left.
8 cops. You getting this all on video?
Yeah, I'm getting it on video.
Send them packing. 6. I'm gonna go explain to this woman that we're sorry.
Matter of fact, you should take her number down and we'll sue them on her behalf for losing business because they were deferring business to keep going. They
I'll be
kept,
back in a second.
in order for them to make business, they just lost business, so. And this guy pulling in just waited 25 to 30 minutes just to get in here to do his business. That's wrong. I'm now an hour into this video and I already had a 10-minute video. I don't want to film him because that would be against his privacy.